Okay, so in today's session, we will be covering unit test cases. So today is going to be our last session. Then I'll give you assignment to do that you can push on Git and share with me, so that I can review and then we can conclude the training. Okay. So basically, we are going to use Jest for unit testing. So there are other tools also available like Chai and Mocha, but I mean almost all this unit test cases tool has similar kind of syntax. Okay, so let's start with installing Jest first. Okay, so let's see.
Yes.
Right. So first thing, we need to install it. Yeah, our movie app, right? Okay. So since we are putting -dev, so it will be going into dev dependencies. So once Jest is installed, how we can run the scripts using Jest command, like we do in Node. Similar thing we can do in Jest, correct? So now we can do like Jest followed by file name, or only Jest will execute all the test files present in our app. Okay. So before that, we need to do some configurations in our package JSON. Okay, so Jest got added. Okay, so now along with dev, we need one more script in our scripts object, that is test. So that we don't need to, every time we don't need to mention Jest followed by file. We'll simply call npm run test, correct? And that will do our work. Okay. So what does Jest says? Jest says that create a folder test. Inside that test folder, create. So basically, this is common for all the technologies. So here, if you can see, these rules are there for the TypeScript, Node, React, Angular, Vue, everywhere. So basically, it's common rule. So just says that whichever file you want to run test, just append the extension .test. Okay, so let's say we want to check the crypto.js. So what we'll do, we will simply create crypto.test.js. So wherever Jest will detect .test files, that it will execute. Okay. So let's do that. So what we'll do, we'll create a test file. Correct, right? And let's start with crypto.js. Okay, I guess this will be easiest thing to do. So what crypto does? Crypto simply creates a hash. I guess we are not using this file or what? Okay. I guess we are not using that file, correct?
Yeah.
Let's make use of it then. So hash, right? So what we will do? We'll do module.exports hash, correct? Something wrong? It should be blue and green, right? What went wrong? Ah, yeah, correct.
Yes.
Now it is correct. Okay, so what we'll do, we will try to write test cases for this file. So, what possible test cases we can think of? So basically, this code is just simply creating a hash.
Yes.
Correct. So I guess we can simply, yeah, we can simply check the hash key itself, right? Let's do it. So what? So according to Jest, what we have to do? We have to create the file along with .test. So we'll create same file cryto dot test.js. Okay.
Mhm.
So first thing required is to import this crypto file. Correct. So const crypto equal to acquire crypto, right?
Yes.
Crypto.js. Now we'll simply make use of this crypto. Okay. So if you check the basic, so let us go through the very basic syntax of Jest. Yeah. So let's consider this example. They have given the sum example. Okay, what they are doing in the sum file, they are simply passing the values, which is returning a sum. Okay. Let's add this as well, so that we will be having multiple cases for our program. Okay. Sum is sum, right?
Yes.
Do we need to write it twice? This is also fine, right?
Yeah. I think so.
Okay. Now let's check. Okay. So what does Jest says? So Jest gives us inbuilt functions to execute. Okay. So simply the very simple function is test itself. So test. Okay. First parameter is the test name. What your test is doing, that we should mention here. And second parameter is callback. Okay, so in second parameter, whatever output we are getting, that we will compare. Okay, so Jest has an inbuilt function called expect. So what expect does? Expect again takes the first parameter as callback, which is our actual unit function to be tested. Okay, and this dot to be represents that I'm passing you some function. Okay, execute it. It will return some value, and that value should be equal to 3. Okay, so that is why it's given as 2b. So to explore all these inbuilt functions, I guess you can make use of this API. What I'll do, I will share the documentation with you guys. See, using matchers and all, we will just explore that. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what all these things are doing. Okay. Yeah, so n number of methods are there. Okay, so let's check. So we were using this test method, right? Let's open this. Let's open at least one example of each type. Okay. Before all test to do, that is fine. Good thing, right? Mocking functions we need to check. Objects we need to check. Okay. Okay, so first function. What does it say? Yeah, correct. So function, so name, function, and timeout. So basically, usually we don't use timeout. And I guess timeout is optional as well. Okay. So you can go through all these functions. So what we'll do instead of going through all the inbuilt functions and understanding them, what we'll do, we'll directly try to implement it so that you know you can understand it better. Before all, after all, expect, correct. So what expect method has inside it? So basically, what we were checking, to be, right? So to be accepts a value, to have been cancelled. So this is for event. Okay. To have returned. So it should return something. So that return value we can make use of. So there are n number of inbuilt methods which you can make use of according to your logic, what your function is returning. So basically, if it is returning a null or undefined, so either we can make use of to be null, or directly we can make use of these functions. To be null, to be undefined, to be truthy, to contain item, to contain equal item. So I guess all these methods are describing itself. By just looking at the name, we can identify that. Okay. So basically, if my function is returning some Boolean value, I can simply make use of to equal to, or so for negative test cases, I can make use of to be null. Okay, to be truthy. So let's explore what does to be truthy. When you don't care what a value is and you want to ensure a value is true in Boolean context. For example, let's say you have application like this. You may not care what thirst info returns, especially it might return true or a complex object, and you would it would still work. So if you want to test that thirst info will be truthy after drinking some line, whatever. Okay, so basically what to be truthy says that your function should return a value apart from undefined null and zero and false. Correct. So if it returns some value, then it is a true. Correct. Similarly, for to be null, so it should return null. If it returns null, then this test will be succeeded. Okay, so let's check. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll be writing test for our function crypto. Okay, so we'll first write test for this hash. Okay. So what is hash? Hash is, we are getting hash as a string itself, right? So we can simply make use of to be, correct? So we'll make use of that only. So, yeah. So test. Okay. Before that, I guess we need to import Jest or not. Let me check if that is required. Yeah. Okay, in JavaScript. Okay, let's try. test. Okay, what we are going to test? It should return encrypted string, right? And what should return encrypted string? So here we will be passing our callback function. Into what? As just now we saw, so we will be using of the inbuilt function called expect. Expect what to be what. So expect crypto dot what we are returning? Hash, right?
Hash. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. So expect crypto hash dot to be B was capital, right? What hash, what value of hash should be? It should be hash itself, right? So this is our first positive test case. Let me just confirm for to be. Yeah, correct. B is capital. Okay. Okay. So this is a single test, right? So let's try to do that. npm run test. Okay, one case is passed. Okay. So what it does, we'll check. So it went. It executed that. It got the hash, and hash was matching. So it simply, passed. It is matched. So let us try failing it. Okay. This should fail it, right?
Yes.
Correct. Now you will be able to see why it failed. Okay. So it is saying that it should return encrypted string. Correct. That is what message we have passed. And where it failed, so it failed here. Okay. So basically it is saying that expected is this. Okay. This is the expected part. But received, what we have received from function is something like this. That is why it is failed. Okay. So, but yeah, correct. So similarly, let's check for the next one. So I guess so. Can you guys try to help me out for second one? This is sum, right? This should be simpler.
Yes.
So first thing is test function.
Test addition.
It should add
values. Two values.
Correct.
Yes.
Two values. Okay, two values. And second,
return function. Expect
yes.
crypto dot add.
Expect
Crypto dot add.
And values, right?
Parameters. Yeah.
To be
4.
Okay, so currently what we are doing, we are just covering all the positive test cases. So we have to think of negative test cases as well. Oh, it failed, right? Oh, why it failed? Because it is not add, it is sum.
Sum, yeah.
That's why. So it should return now more accurate, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what it says now? It should return Okay, sum.tobe is not a function. Why? Because it is incorrect, right? Should be like this.
Yeah. One failed, one pass.
Yeah, sorry, correct. One failed and one passed. Why?
Because in first one we have mentioned crypto hash, where we have to mention crypto dot hash.
Correct. Okay, so yeah, correct. Two test cases passed, right? So now, but now we know that these two cases belongs to our crypto.js file, right? So we should make collection of this test, correct? 11. So let's say we have n number of controller, n number of models, n number of services, right? So at that time, we should know that while executing the test, which file is getting like test for which files are getting executed, correct? So here, what we are going to see that okay, this is the file, and all these test cases are run, correct? So, but in this file, we are having two different functionalities. One is simply creating hash, second is creating sum. So for that purpose, Jest provides a describe method, not this one, or this one. Okay, so yeah, describe, correct. So what does describe says? Describe says that describe simply describes what we are going to test. Okay, so okay, describe. So it creates a block that groups together several related tests, correct? So what I'll do, I'll simply do a describe. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, name will be testing encryption. Correct. And second thing is my callback function. And this test will go inside callback function. Now what we'll do, since we have covered only one possible positive scenario, all other scenarios related to encryption will go here. Similarly, all the possible scenarios related to summation will go inside the second describe. So what we are trying to do, we are simply trying to organize them. Or check for addition. Okay. Addition test cases. Whatever name you find appropriate. Okay. Can you guys try to think of a negative scenario? So simple and obvious scenario is just 2 plus 2, right? And here it is simply whatever we were getting that we were able to receive. So to test the logic of our code, our function, we have to find out, we have to somehow break it, right? So for that we need to think of some negative scenarios, correct? So can you just come up with a negative scenario for let's say for this sum? So what we are doing, we are
So like 2 plus 2 equals to 5. Not equal to.
correct.
Not.
So let's check for not equal to. I'm sure that we will find not equal as well. See, to be falsy, to be truthy, all those things. Yeah, correct. We were having that list, right? Yes. Yeah, expect dot not, right? Okay, what else we have? To be returned, to be close to be defined, to be false, to be greater than, to be less than, to be null, to be none, to be equal, to match, to restrict, to throw, to be undefined. Okay, so let's make use of to be, to not, correct? So what does not accepts? If you know how to test something, dot not lets you test it opposite. For example, this code, the test, the best flavor is not coconut, not to be coconut, correct? So simply we'll be make use of this to complete our one negative scenario. So simply test it should not return incorrect summation, right? So our second parameter is callback object. Expect crypto dot sum 4,6 not to be 1, right? Let us try and check. One failed, right? What does it says? Cannot read properties of undefined. Reading to be. Again, same mistake, right? Yeah, now it will work. Correct, it worked, right? So like this were just examples to show how we can do that. Okay, so now let's dive into our actual code, right? So what we'll do, we'll see if we can in our code, if we are able to mock some functions, mock some callback functions. Okay, how to mock? They have given all these methods. So let's say while you are writing some API, that API is calling so like getting values from some other callback. So we can mock that callback, right? So let's say that callback is in turn getting values again from some API. So Jest will not actually call that API. So what we need to do, we need to simply mock that function. Correct? So if you think logically, everything, so even we are trying to, if we are trying to fetch the data from database, so it is not like just will do connection and fetch it for us. So it won't happen. So basically, what we are assuming that this let's say our get user service is calling the database, forming select query and all, and that database is returning a object which should match to whatever object we are going to pass to it. So are you getting it? Are you guys like?
Yes, I think it will be like be more clear when we'll try
Oh,
and
sure,
practice
sure.
it more and more.
Yeah, sure. So let's. So what
Yeah.
we'll try to do that, with our actual app. Okay. So what we'll do, we will write, one or two test cases where we will mock the data and mock the function. Okay. And then what we'll do, we'll just try to see the total test coverage. Okay. So what test coverage will show? Test coverage will show that there are this number of JS files in your entire project, and only you have written test cases for this much, and they are whether they are covering each and every statement, syntax and all. So let's see. Okay, so in controller, what we are doing? We are just accepting and sending the data, correct? So nothing here we are doing. So where else we are doing? I guess in service only, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Correct. So what in service, what we are doing? We are, creating a UID, encrypting something. And after encryption, we are we are inserting values into database. Okay, all those things are fine, but ultimately what we are getting two types of response, one error and one
Is null. One is data and other is null.
other is error.
Yeah.
Error first callback, right? Okay. So basically, so think of it like this: when we will be calling, when we will be testing this function, we are purely going to test this function only, right? And if you just on a first glance, just looking at this function, so basically what this function is doing, this function is forming some variables and calling some other function, right? Calling some other function, and again creating the user, again calling some other function. We don't know what this function might be doing, but we know that we are getting the two return objects. One is error and second is the data itself. Okay, so that means for us, what this function is going to do finally, so we are expecting either a error object or a response object, correct? So let's try to do that. So a good practice is, so like if I am doing I'm writing test cases for service.js. So since our project is small, you can move all the test cases in test file. But when project length increases, right, the files and subfolders increases. So usually we create a test folder over here only. So basically, we create test folder by this convention, __test__. This as well we can rename to test__, or normal test is also fine. But usually we follow this convention, __test. Okay, so here we will write the test cases for user service. So user service dot test.js, right? Okay, so since we are inserting data inside user, so we will be having multiple test cases, right? Some couple of positive, couple of negatives. So to group them, we will be requiring a describe block, right? Describe what? Create user test cases. Okay, so if you observe, yeah, so under the name, so it first, so describe goes here, the heading, and inside that we are able to see the collection of tests. Similarly, second described was addition test cases and followed by all the addition test cases. So it really becomes simple for us to segregate. and second function is our callback. Okay. So very first thing we are going to test is a positive cases, right? And what is positive case?
When we send
Positive.
data, it should return
Yeah.
data.
It should return error to be null and data to be जो भी हम mock data pass करेंगे वो data, correct?
Yes.
So let's do that. Okay, so first thing will be importing that file, right? Otherwise, how we are going to make calls? So require user service, right? Okay, so since I hope we are exporting, yeah, correct. We are exporting create user and all others. So basically we have 1, 2, 3 functions to test. So we will be having 3 different describes, right? So this is our first describe call. Okay. So what we'll do, we will try to cover the mocking. Yeah. So let's start with our first positive test case. Correct. And that should be to be null, right? It was like that only, correct? Let us check. To be false, it to be null. Okay. So starting with very basic and simple thing. So what we are going to test? User created successfully. It should return error as null. Okay. So what we will be expecting? Expect user service dot create user. Now here we need to pass our data, right? Mock data. So what create user is accepting first name, last name, mobile, city, and all those things. Okay. So we'll surely pass that. And we will be expecting same object. Okay, so are we returning same object? First question.
Yes, we are returning same object and error should be null.
Yeah, correct. Error should be null, right? Okay, so first what we need to do, we need to mock this thing. So basically, when we do testing, okay, we don't want to expose our project data, right? So usually we avoid the data which we are actually using on in our project, because these test files are easily accessible, right? And so let's say someone is going through your code. So if you put actual data, then that could be a risk, right? So for that purpose, we make use of fake data. So if we go ahead and type like this first name, so it is very time consuming, and every time you have to think of some new name every time, correct? So instead of that, instead of wasting time into all this, we make use of fake data. Okay. So how do we do that? We make use of a package called Faker. Yeah, Faker npm. Correct. So how do we use this? Let's check out. Oh, okay. Let's check this one. Okay. Yeah. So see. So simply we need to install Faker. Okay. We need to import Faker. And what we can do here, they have given some examples. So faker.data type, we can specify data type, we can specify username, email, password. Okay. And all the details are given over here. So for address, you can access address, fetch address like that, animal name like that, and so on. Okay. So I guess this is enough to fake the data. There are enough
Yes.
inbuilt objects are given to methods are given to fake the data. So let's make use of it. So we'll store this in our dev dependency. We need to convert it into require statement. So this is our test file, right? So here it goes. So const faker equal to require faker, right? Okay. Now we are simply going to make use of this data. Let user equal to. So I guess we should copy it, right? Service, this thing. Okay. So for UID, we have some method, right? Faker.datatype.uid. So we'll quickly make use of all these methods. First name, right? So I will make use of this thing, first name. Last name, I guess since that is name entity, so this is fine, right? Mobile. Do we have mobile number? Animal, internet, music, phone, see phone number. Oh, we have first name as well. Let's make use of that then. First name, right? Internet only, name dot first name. Okay. Oh, sorry. So if there is first name, there should be last name as well. So let's try that. Okay, and what else we have? Email. Email. Email is there. Password is there.
City and country is there.
Also there, right? These are most common fields, right? It will be present. Where is city? Animal, commerce, company, data type, hack, image. So what we need to do, we need to go through documentation for more details, right?
There is city, faker.address.city.
Oh, where is address? Address.
Example, like, document example, modules, inside modules, address.
Oh, correct. So if there is city, then there will be country as well.
Country.
All details will, correct. There will be all the details present. Just we need to check. Just you need to go and check out. You will find a lot of other details as well. City. So if city is there, I'm hoping country will also be there. Otherwise, we will get an error. Okay, looks good, right? So what we will be expecting?
Yes.
Yeah. So now
It should return a user object.
Oh, wait. No, but the thing is, it is returning. Yeah, here the issue is it is returning a callback function, right? Okay. So since it is returning a callback function, we cannot compare it with some method, right? What is response? Response is some callback function, right? So now we will make use of a mock function, right? Yeah, mock functions. Mock function dot get mock name, whatever. Let's check how this works. Okay, so what did it? They created a new function, just function, and simply bind that context, whatever context, to that function. Correct. So, but here we will go with this itself, and let's check what we get in response. Okay, and so create user Sam. So this to be null is not correct. Okay, and our return value should be a mock function. Does it make sense? Ankit, Anand.
Yes.
Why? Because we are returning a callback function, right? So it will be incorrect to compare it with some data, actual data. Where, where we can compare it with data in controller when we will write test cases for controller, right? See here.
Yes.
So, here we are getting actual data, right? So when we will write test case for this, then we can actually compare error and data as well. Okay. So let's check. Let's check our thing. Once. Array, yaar, sorry. npm run test, right? So what does it says? Cannot read properties of undefined UUID. Why? Picker, right? Okay. What mistake we did? So I guess the mistake we did was, see, what we are doing, we are destructuring faker from faker, right? So
Yes.
yeah, correct. So this is nothing but a object itself. So we need to do like this, right? Faker dot faker. Faker dot faker, right?
So isn't it possible to directly use faker instead of creating its object? Yeah.
Instead of const, let's make it let. Now faker equal to faker dot faker, right? Will do, right?
Yeah.
Let's check.
You miss semicolon and the spelling is wrong.
Thanks. Just did not exit second. Okay, what does it says? Cannot read properties undefined of data type again. Okay, so let's do it in our old way. How? We'll put console logs and check. Correct, right? Let's check. Console.log. Actually, this faker thing I used in React. First time I'm using in Node. But usually this is a standard thing, so we should follow it everywhere. Okay, and okay. So consider this session for your Angular as well, because everything will be same for Angular as well. The only addition would be the snapshot testing. Correct. Too many things, right? It has printed. Okay, referenced. We need to check for second console now. See, in finance, we have all these things. So no need to go anywhere else. Faker.phone number is deprecated. Okay, at least we got something correct. Yeah, and what does it says? Okay. So see, we got all the things correctly. Mobile number as well. Create user test. SQL query is not a function. Okay, so it is actually executing SQL query. Okay. So that means this was correct, right? Faker.fake. Okay. So what is the error? SQL.query is not a function. Why? So what does that mean? That means we have to make that SQL somewhere available. Correct?
Yes. So
Yeah, because of this thing, right? Yeah, go ahead. What?
yeah, no. So like if so, is that fake data is getting inserted directly into database, or it should not get insert, right? Because
Basically,
it's just a
trying
text.
to insert actually, but what we need to do, we need to mock that as well. Correct. So the first thing is
Okay,
to identify
got it.
how to bypass this. Getting me right?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll see. We'll surely get some solution overnight. Yeah. So basically, since we don't want to do actual SQL calls. So what we'll do, we will simply mock the create user function, pass the values to it. And since in return we are getting callback function itself, so we'll be simply comparing it with the callback. Okay. So so basically what I want you guys to do is, so as a step one, you can identify all the independent unit functions which don't have any dependency and which are giving you actual data. So like we saw in the crypto, right? These were very easy to handle. So just try to write down unit test cases for that. Okay, and a second thing will be try to write unit test cases for controller. So how you can write a unit test controller unit test cases. So first thing is you have to go through the code. So basically here we are calling a function, right? What this function is doing, this function is accepting a value, and in callback it is giving us the result, correct? So basically you first step one will be you need to mock this function. Okay, this function will accept a body. Okay, and it will simply return the response, success response or error response. Okay, so this thing you can check out and try. And how you can mock the function and get the data. So I guess this documentation will help you. So basically, if you go through this, you will see that when we mock a function, we can simply mock the logic as well. How? So let's take a look over this example. So here what we did while creating a mock function json.fn, jest.fn. So we are simply mimicking the logic. Okay. So what they did, they simply wrote the logic. Now they are calling the function. Okay, which will return the expected output. Once we are having expected output from our mock function, we can simply put that into expect to be. So it will be like expect mock function with value 0 to be 42, like that. Since in our case, our service was returning a callback function itself, so that is why we compared it with a callback function. Okay, so I hope that that are making things clear. If not, what I will suggest you to ping me separately, and we can take it forward from there. I know it is a bit confusing mocking the function and mocking the values, but once you get hang of it, once you get hands on it, try to explore this documentation, you will be able to understand. Not that difficult. But if at all you are not able to understand, just ping me. Okay, I'll make sure that I will take out some time, and then we can deep dive into it further. Okay.
Yes.
Okay then. So for assignment,
Okay.
yeah, for today's assignment, you can just try to write as much test cases you can, negative ones, positive ones for our controller.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Can you please share this code in a zip?
I'll share
Yeah.
this code base as well.
Yeah, just share complete zip.
Yeah, sure. So what I'll do, I will, yeah. MovieDB, right? MovieDB. Where is our MovieDB? Movie app. Yeah, this one. So I will delete the older one. Prototypal inheritance you already have, right? I'm not including node modules, otherwise it will become a huge file. See, if I select
Yes.
modules, then it is going into MBs.
Yeah.
Compress. Okay, so this now will go to our drive. Okay, and this we share with you guys. Okay, copy link and here. Okay, I hope that this helps. Okay, just try to write test cases, and if stuck, just ping me. Okay, we'll check. Okay, so thank you so much.